Hi, my wonderful fifth graders. Today, we are going to talk about fifth grade, Unit 2, citizenship. So now let's look at this word citizenship. What do we think citizenship means? And if we break the word apart and we just look at the first part of the word citizen, what does citizen mean? Citizen, a person who legally belongs to a country and have the rights and protection of that country. And now the second part of the word ship, SHIP, means position held or status. And now we're going to put both of those together so we can get the meaning of citizenship. So citizenship, the status of a person who legally belongs to a country and has the rights and protections of that country. For this lesson, we have counted two. We have two PBOs for this lesson. And we're going to start with the first one. And the first one says, students will be able to describe the responsibilities of a citizen in order to explain how a citizen's rights are protected under the U.S. Constitution. And next, we're going to annotate this PBO for any unfamiliar words or any content-specific words, which are those special social studies words. So students will be able to describe. So that's our first word. And what does describe mean? To describe means to give an account in words. In words. We are going to describe the responsibilities of a citizen in order to explain, to make something clear by describing it in more details. So students will be able to describe or give an account in words the responsibilities of a citizen in order to explain or make something clear by describing it in more detail about how a citizen's rights are protected under the U.S. Constitution. Now let's look at these content-specific words or these special social studies words that we really need to know the definition of. The first one is responsibilities. Responsibilities. A thing that one is morally, legally, or mentally accountable for doing as a part of a job or role. So we're going to describe the responsibilities of a citizen, and we just talked about citizen. A citizen is a person who legally belongs to a country and has the rights and protections of that country. So we're going to describe the responsibilities of a citizen. Why? In order to explain how citizens' rights, the personal rights of an individual citizen. I am an individual citizen. The one in most countries upheld by law. So in order to explain how citizens' rights are protected under the U.S. Constitution. And so the U.S. Constitution, a document that embodies the fundamental laws and principles by which the United States is governed. So a document is like a paper or something. It can be electronic, it can be actual paper that something is written on, but it's a document and there's written on it the laws, those fundamental or basic laws that the United States has and is governed by. Okay, let's look at this picture. Let's observe with our eyes. Let's look at this picture. And I'm going to tell you what I see, and I want you to think about what you see. So I see a nameplate. And on that nameplate, I see two words, and they're big and they're bold. And it says due process. I also see a gavel and like a hammer or a mallet. And it reminds me of court. It reminds me of what a judge uses when he uses the mallet to hit that little wooden round base when he wants to get order in the court. That's what I think of. So I think of court and I think of a judge. And so that picture was leading us to our second PBO. Students will be able to explain the concept of due process of law in order to demonstrate how a citizen's rights are protected under, you guessed it, the U.S. Constitution. So now let's annotate our second PBO. Students will be able to explain. Here goes that explain again. We should know what it is by now. So to explain means to make something clear by describing it in more detail. So we're going to explain the concept of due process of law in order to demonstrate. What does it mean to demonstrate? To display, exhibit, or explain by providing arguments, examples, etc. So we want to demonstrate how citizens' rights, we have that citizens' rights again, are protected under the U.S. Constitution. There's that U.S. Constitution again. So next, let's look at these special social studies words that we really need to know. The first one is due process of law. What is due process of law? Due process of law is the fair treatment through the normal judicial system. Citizens' rights. What is that? Again, the personal rights of the individual citizen in most countries upheld by law. And lastly, the U.S. Constitution is that document that embodies fundamental laws and principles by which the United States is governed. So we're going to put it all together again. And so we say that students will be able to explain or make something clear by describing it in more detail the concepts of due process of law, or the fair treatment through the normal judicial system, in order to demonstrate or display or exhibit, explain by providing arguments or examples, how citizens' rights, those individual rights that are upheld by most countries, are protected under the U.S. Constitution, that document that embodies fundamental laws and principles by which the United States is governed.